There's something wrong. And when it's caught,
You may take your seat kindly. Where is his name? Where is his name? All right. In front of us is Mr. Francis Ofiambo Aduol, famously known as Professor.
And for that, we have to call you Professor to acknowledge your great academic achievement over the years. Welcome. This is the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. These are the members you see seated here, over here, doing the vetting. Important exercise, especially as it relates to Iebc. So we will have for maximum of an hour or so that we know whether really the way you are appointed is due in law and the Constitution, and whether yourself you're suitable to sit as a commissioner in Iebc. So since we have prayed, and we prayed for you when you are not here, we will introduce ourselves. After introduction, we'll come back to you where we'll give you an oath. After giving you an oath, you're going to sign the oath and give us your original documents, after which we'll give you 10 minutes to take us through your very, very long journey in life. Right from the beginning in some place in Nyanza, tell us where it was and when, all the way up to today when you are in the Technical University of Kenya. And then after that, we'll ask you a few questions to confirm your suitability and your process of appointment. So my name is George Gitonga Mrugara, Member of Parliament for Tharaka Constituency, that's in Tharaka Nithi County. I chair the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee.
Well, thank you, Chair. My name is Mwengi Mutuse, Member of Parliament for Kibwezi West, Vice Chair. And for the record, I interacted a lot of times with Professor Aduol when I was a student at the University of Nairobi, a student leader, and he was a principal of the College of Architecture and Engineering. But be that as it may be, I am not conflicted.
Right?
My name is Zulekha Harun, nominated member and a member of this committee.
I am Michael Mushera, MP Orojororok, member of this committee.
I am Farah Malim. I must declare here I've known Professor Aduol for many years when he was at the Technical University of Kenya and supported me a lot in getting so many students from my region to go and do serious courses in there, including surveying. Farah Malim, MP for the DAP. Yeah.
Are you conflicted?
I'm not conflicted. I'm not conflicted by stating the facts. If somebody is good, then you're not conflicted.
Adam Daud, Wajir East.
John Makali, Member of Parliament for Kandoi Constituency, Bungoma County.
My name is Mushangi Karemba, Member of Parliament for Runyenjes Constituency and a member of this committee.
Otiende Molo, Member for Ariada, and
disclose that I know that Professor Dual is from my neighboring constituency of Seme, and we interacted with him a lot when we were writing the constitution on the question of boundaries and delimitation and counties. Thank you. Conflict? I am not conflicted.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Stephen Mogaka, elected by West Mugirango constituency in Nyamira County. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Peter Chamwena. I'm Director of Departmental Committees, and with me are members of staff from the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Seme is the place of Dr. Nyikal, Chairman have. That's Professor Dual. Shows how it produces professors and doctors. Thank you. Sergeant at Arms, please give him the oath.
Is the Bible, do I hold on the right hand? Right hand. Good. I, Francis Odhiambo Dual, do swear that the information I shall give before this committee on the matter under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Right, Professor. Now we give you just about 10 minutes. Can you walk us through the journey of your life, right from some place in Seme to this great city of Nairobi, and today to this seat? It must be extremely interesting, and one which I think our young people should be listening to as to what a human being can achieve. Start, Professor.
Thank you very much, Chair. First of all, I would like to express my special appreciation to our President, His Excellency Dr. Ruto, for finding it fit to nominate me to come and appear before yourselves with the hope that I can be eventually appointed to be a commissioner in Iebc. Chairman, I also would like to thank you for even convening this committee to come and listen to me on this special day of Saturday. And perhaps more important for me also is that I find that I'm among some of the people who I know well and seem to know me well. Each one of them declared that they didn't have conflict of interest. Perhaps I should also do so, but now that I'm sitting on this side, maybe I'm not expected to do so. Chair, I understand you come from Tharaka Nithi. The only interest I might declare is that I've had a chance to be in a place called Marimanti. Now, that is
that's my constituency, Marimanti.
Yes, I've been there, but that's another story. Thank you. My name is Francis Aduo. I am a Kenyan by birth and ancestry. My ancestral home is in Seme sub-county or Seme constituency of Kisumu County. You asked me to start my story basically from the village. And so the village is in Seme. I come from a small place called Alungo, right on the shores of Lake Victoria in Seme sub-county. I went to schools, local schools in Seme, primary school, and partly to a primary school in Kisumu municipality. I took my secondary school education at Kisumu Boys High School and my high school at Maseno School. After Maseno School, I joined the University of Nairobi to study for a Bachelor of Science in Engineering degree
with specialization in the area of surveying and photogrammetry. On my graduation, I took up a job with the government survey department
as a land surveyor, and on which I stayed for about 13 months. And then I was invited back to the University of Nairobi to take up a position as tutorial fellow, which position put me in a situation where I was a junior lecturer and also a postgraduate student at the same time. On completion of my master's degree, I was shortly afterwards promoted to the position of lecturer. And subsequently, I won a scholarship to proceed for my PhD studies in the Federal Republic of Germany at the University of Stuttgart. I completed my PhD in 1988 and graduated with a Doctor of Engineering degree in the field of geodesy. Geodesy is the mathematical study of the size and shape of the Earth. It is an important area in the broad field of surveying. So I'm an expert on how large the Earth is or how small it is, how it looks like, and those kind of things. On my completion of the PhD, I returned to Kenya and continued with my work at the University of Nairobi. Shortly after that, I was in surveying at the university. In 2001, I became full professor and gave my inaugural lecture in 2006. Going back a little on the professional side, I'm a fully registered surveyor in this country. And within the University of Nairobi, I was involved in a lot of things to do with university administration. I was in the department in 1991 to 1995. 95 to 1999, I was Dean of the Faculty of Engineering. And from 99 to 2000, College of Architecture and Engineering. In 2008, I was appointed to become the inaugural of what was then the Polytechnic University College. When the University College was promoted or elevated to university status in 2013, I also became the inaugural Vice Chancellor. I did my 2 terms of 5 years, and completed my tour of duty successfully in 2023 May, and thereafter I took up a position as professor in the Technical University of Kenya. This was a position on contract now, and my contract just expired about how many days ago? I think 16 days ago. I did my last day at the Technical University of Kenya on 15th May. And so roughly, that has been my journey. Now, work in this country at committee level, and you will see from my CV, I think I've been involved in almost 40 committees. Probably 20 of them I have been chairman, most of them to do with the development of higher education in this country. I will just cite a few, about four things or 5 things that I've been involved in, and then probably we can continue from there. At the University of Nairobi, I was the first person to I chaired the first strategic plan of the University of Nairobi. I also became chair of a committee that reviewed the structure of the University of Nairobi. I think this was around 2006, 2007. Before that, I chaired a major committee of the university that worked out the costs of academic programs in the university. This is what became known in this country as differentiated unit cost. And before that, I chaired another committee which was tasked with the responsibility of determining how many lecturers the university needed to have. And a lot of this was original work, which meant that I had to think through and come up with formulas that could work. And later on, I think in 1998, I was a member of a very important committee which worked out the methodology of those days Joint Admissions Board, the methodology for admitting students in the university, what eventually became known as the weighted cluster method. This is the method that is still used now by KUCCPS to admit our students in the university. We revised it in 2012. At that time, I was now the chair of the committee, and a lot of this was original work, so I developed a formula which allows us to do this. I have served on international committees in the International Association of Geodesy. At one stage, I was a member of the subcommittee dealing with statistics and computations. I consider myself to have specialized expertise in that area, and I was made a member of this subcommittee. I have served as a member of the Association of Commonwealth Universities, which is the Commonwealth University.
Universities in the world, created in 2013, responsible for 500 universities in the world. The membership is usually about 25 people, and I consider that this was big prestige, that I should have been nominated to serve on this committee. So, Chairman, I think this gives a rough view of what I am. I've left out something which is to do with why I have applied to be a member of Iebc Commission. So I don't know whether I can tackle that right now, or I leave it to you to prompt me. Thank you.
We will prompt you, because all of us are looking at exactly the professor. So, Professor, take a piece of paper and a pen. We will ask our question in succession quickly, and when your time comes, I'll guide you to give concise answers so that we do not take a lot of time on this. And just to start us off, Professor, there is no doubt whatsoever in your academic field, in survey engineering, you are an expert par excellence. I don't think anybody would doubt this, although we do not have the experience in those fields. But suddenly, and later in life, you now have to become an expert in election matters. Start with telling us, what expertise are you taking to IEBC, so that when Kenyans look at the IEBC Commission itself, they see Professor Francis Aduol. They know for sure IEBC is going to deliver elections that are fair, free, credible, and verifiable. What gives you that metal which you can give to us regarding your expertise in election matters, and especially in view of the fact that you've been a scientist who knows the size of the earth, how big it is or how small it is? Thank you. Honorable Mutuse.
Thank you, Chairman. I will allow the professor to finish taking his sip, so then he can be able to write. Article 89 of the Constitution. There has been debate about where to put in more weight: population, geography, historical community interests. In your own expertise, and now as a nominee to become a commissioner at IEBC, what is your view regarding the limitation of boundaries in view of those parameters?
And Kenya is, because you have said you are an expert of the earth, and Kenya is part of the earth.
Kenya, and you know sizes and you know all these things. Kenya is presently electoral-wise divided, 290 constituencies, 1,450 electoral wards, 47 counties.
Thank you very much. From there we go to Honorable Mogaka, West Mugirango.
Thank you so much. As an offshoot from the Vice Chair's question, Professor, and thanks for applying. What expertise are you able to bring to the Commission if you are appointed to help us circumvent or expeditiously achieve the boundary delimitation that was contemplated, were it not for the lack of IEBC? The second question is about your tour of duty at the university. There have been allegations, true or false, that at the university marks are traded for cash or other considerations, including sex. How true these allegations during your tour of duty, and can you allay the Kenyans' fears that votes are not going to be traded for whatever? And finally, I noted in your opening remarks you had a lot of gratitude to His Excellency the President for nominating you to this to come for this interview, and thanks for also showering gratitude to our chair. But then, to the Kenyans watching, is there a chance that that gratitude to the nominating office might be extended to favor if you were in that commission? In other words, my neighbor at Continental House, the prospective presidential candidate last year, can he rest assured that you will not be of favor to His Excellency Dr. William Ruto at his expense? And that is with a lot of respect to every other aspiring candidate, including Emeritus CJ David Maraga. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Tiendamolo.
I thought Honorable Farah was going to object to mention of Honorable Salasia's name. Why would a professor of geospatial science and engineering want to be a commissioner at IEBC? Thank you.
Honorable Kalemba.
Now, Chair, IEBC is an entity associated with huge pending bills, and mostly after elections. I would like to ask the professor, what is his relationship with pending bills, and especially while at the Technical University of Kenya?
All right, Honorable Makalim. John.
First is to allow the professor a 45-page CV. I think I'm impressed.
But Professor, I think you are involved in largely in the Independent Boundaries Review Commission that was chaired by the late Ligale in the limitation of boundaries. And I have seen.
After that report created hue and cry. There was a series of litigation that went to courts over that report. In fact, some people still cry up to now because of that report. We are yet to do another delimitation of boundaries. What are the lessons learned from that from the work which you did, which if given a chance now by going to the commission, you will do differently and not do it the same way you did the other time, that will not generate a lot of litigation that was generated at that time by that report? What is the lessons learned from that report?
Thank you. Honorable Daud of Wajir East.
Chair, my questions has been asked by my colleague from Nyamira.
Thank you very much. Honorable Farah from Dadaab, Garissa.
See, and I see how much your services are required in the delimitation of boundaries in the future, because that is one thing that I believe is in very short supply in this country. And you'll be, but there are many of us who believe that the delimitation cannot be done before the next census, because the census of 2019 was doctored, and the courts have pronounced themselves to that. So unless there's going to be a credible census, which I believe will be done in 2029, we cannot do any further delimitation. I just want to say that you have a sterling history, and we're looking forward to you doing an equally sterling job on the issue of delimitation, because you are an expert in that area. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Michael Musura, Ujorok.
Chairman, my question was on delimitation and has been asked.
Thank you.
Chairman.
I put on mine. Okay.
My question was on delimitation of boundaries and has been asked.
Thank you very much, Honorable Zaleha.
Thank you, Chairman. My question was also on delimitation, but I will also add one more on issues of technology. I believe many of the challenges we have with the electoral process in this country is about the systems and how we vote. There are many and better. What do you think we can do better in the next general election so that we avoid the challenges of election malpractices and a lot of delays, and many also have a mobile phone?
Now, some of the questions are intertwined, so you are able to marry question number one with many of them so that your expertise comes out straight away. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I will try to go in the order the questions came, and where I find that there is a repetition, probably. Chair, I'm bringing to expertise, dedicated expertise in two dimensions.
At a very basic level, I'm bringing in expertise in boundary delimitation,
because it fits in very well with my area of specialization as an expert in surveying and geospatial sciences. And that this is something I've done before. As has been alluded to here, I was very much involved in the work that brought forth the 290 constituencies that we have today. And I believe that I'm in a position to add great value in that respect. And given that one of the biggest challenges we are facing just now is how to carry out boundary delimitation as we approach the next elections. Secondly, in a much broader sense, my field of surveying and geospatial sciences is a powerful, carries within it powerful tools today that are being used in modern elections everywhere in the world. And
This falls within my area of expertise. The technology of remote sensing. Remote sensing today gives us maps